And hopefully my microphone is still working, which it looks like it has. Wow, okay. No mic, are you kidding me? Oh, don't tell me the mic's not working there. Oh, mic's fine. Right, ignore Acmafin. Bad joke. Okay, cool. Hopefully I can click on stuff down here, which I can. Right. Don't Google. Yeah, you'll break the internet if you do that. Right, that was a very frustrating half an hour. Lots of technical hitches. Muted the channel. Acmafin. Okay, so tonight we're going to take a look at Tapper. I'm going to play a tiny little bit of it, but I'm not going to play very much because I've already wasted half an hour anyway. So let me turn the sound on in here and turn the joystick on. Now, I've never actually played this game, so I have loaded it up, but I've not actually played it, so I couldn't tell you at all what to do in it. So feel free to shout at me if I'm doing things wrong. I've been doing room planning today, so I want to turn the music off on there. I want to tidy up all around here when I get this new machine built, and I'm going to try and set up a different room arrangement. Okay. No, not that. Oh, there we go. There's a lot of decompression going on here. Don't want any of these. How do I get out of this space? There we go. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I've got a lot of hardware that I need to put in places, and at the moment it's just kind of stuffed very untidily in shelves. So I want to tidy it up a little bit and give myself a nicer backdrop to my videos. So I've got some nice stuff that I could put on display behind me, but I just haven't had the time to do it. But I'm gonna do some rearranging, I think, just before I build this thing. Okay, loading. Oh, hit fire. There we go. God, how many times does this pack? So this is the first thing we're going to do. We're going to drop this into the debugger and unpack it. Is this the right game? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, beginner, arcade, expert, K for keyboard, J for joystick, space button or fire to play. What do I do? Oh, I see. What? I have to hold down. Oh, I see, right. Okay. So you've got to feed them before they get to the end. You hold down. Oh, and just let go. Okay. Because customers cannot reach you, they'll kill you. So it's just like a London bar then, right? Okay, I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. And I guess you have to grab these empty cups as well. Oh, okay. And grab your tips. How do you get your tips? So we did have a list of things from Hayes and Chiz of what to have a go at changing in this game. So that's what we're going to try and do tonight rather than infinite lives. We'll have a go at messing with the graphics, and I'm going to try out my disassembler on it as well to see if it makes a meaningful file. Green on the bar, okay. Oh, can you go down? Oh, right, you can go down there as well. I see. It's really hard, actually. Okay. I don't know why I'm typing it in as 999, but there you go. You need to multitask just like a chef. Yeah, it looks very hard. And that was beginner as well, so... I'm sure I saw a different game, though. Did I? Is it because... Oh, I need to turn one of the joysticks off. Hang on. I should really set up the actual Commodore 64 for these sort of things. Thanks for the host, Hitch. Rather than play them on the emulator, but as soon as we are kind of playing this to do some coding, it makes sense. I'm sure I saw a totally different game to this though, like a cup and ball kind of game. Oh, okay, you can't waste alcohol either. Enjoy your bot. Thank you. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do with this is we're going to create a clean version of it. So we'll look through the file to find out when the last unpack is done. If I can remember what the last unpack looks like. Oh no, this isn't going to be good. And then we'll use the disassembler to. I'll show you how the disassembler works. So. Okay, I'm gonna restart it in the disassembler, and we can take a look at how it works. So I read a file. See if I can find it actually. Let me get it loading. I read a file that somebody posted the other day. I'm sure somebody else can post it in a minute actually. Regarding. Oh yeah, because I did load it in this. Regarding how to do cracks, and there was a few good tips in there, so I'm going to use one of them tonight for finding the start address, and I'll go through how to do that as well. Kind of like need to DC my motherboard, clean it, reconnect it, and attempt to get post. Okay, good luck with that. What CPU have you put in that then? Because it's an old Windows 98 machine, isn't it? I'd be interested to know what you're trying to run on. I'd love to get hold of an old like Pentium 100 or a Pentium 90 or something like that, and build a little machine just for playing Doom and such on, playing all the old DOS games. Okay, let's turn the oh, there we go. So this is one pack. I'm going to show you now if we pause. So as I've mentioned before, oh, this one. Yes, there you go. So that link that Colt's just posted is a good link for has a few good tips in there actually. I mean, a lot of what we've been doing anyway. But there's some other kind of nice tips in there that I'd not been doing, so I picked a few good things up from that. And the very last section, the whittling, is just hilarious. I mean, it's kind of a very scattershot approach to finding a lives cheat, but it does work. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Where you basically you play a game. Say you've got 5 lives, then you save out the memory into 2 halves. First half of the memory, second half of the memory. Then you lose a life, and then you load one of the halves back in. And if you've still got 2 lives, then it wasn't that half and it was the other half, and you keep doing that and you keep halving it and halving it and halving it and keep dividing it down until you find the area. Slayer Darth, yeah, it's going all right, thank you. Are we trying to make clones of C64 games? No, we're having a look at how on a Thursday we do a Dissect stream where I take a look at an existing C64 game and we have a play around with it, see how it works. I mean, in the case of Tapper, I don't think we really need to look into it too much about how it works, but we will have a brief look at it. But mostly we kind of try and find cheats or change the graphics, things like that. So yeah, this is the unpack routine. We know it's the unpack routine for two reasons. One, it's got this little flashing thing in the corner, which is quite common in depackers. It's either something in the corner like this, or some kind of countdown in the top corner, or the borders will flash. The other thing as well, when the unpackers run, they tend to run in this area of RAM. So this is stack memory. It's a good place to kind of put stuff because games generally don't put anything in here. And as long as you stay away from the very top end of it where the stack begins, then you're usually okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to scroll all the way down to the end and we're looking for jumps. And this is the one we're interested in. So the reason we're interested in this one is because it jumps out of this area to somewhere else in RAM, 080D, actually in the beginning of basic RAM. And also it has this instruction decrease the value in 01. So 01 is the processor port, and in order for these unpackers to work, they need to bank out all the ROM into RAM so they can unpack anything anywhere. And so usually there's a change to that value just before it jumps to put all the ROMs back again. Thank you for the follow, Slayer Darth. Very much appreciated. So in this case, there's a decrement of that value, which is currently at 38. So that is actually banking everything out, and then the interrupts are re-enabled, and then it jumps to this address. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here, and I'm going to resume, and hopefully, yeah, okay, we've got to there. So now 080D. I know it's not this one, but if it was this one, we could save out the memory at this point. And just resume from this location here, but I know it's not this one, so I'm gonna resume. I can't remember which one it was now. I think there was. Oh, it said hit fire in the corner, so that's what we're looking for. So let's get through this again. So here's another unpack routine. So again, we're going to go and have a look in this area. It's actually looks like they're using exactly the same unpack routine. Oh no, not quite. Yeah, it's not quite the same, but this looks like the routine that it's calling at the end. There isn't a change to 01 here, but this is jumping out of this area. So let's resume again. There we go, we hit that. Again, though, it's not this one. I think it's either the next one or the one after. Yeah, it's not this one either. So let's skip past this. And when it starts unpacking, like now, go and have a look again. Here we go again. It's the same jump address again, 080D. But it's not this one, it's the next one, I think. So we'll start again. Yeah, it's this one. So if this one does any unpack, which I think it will do because yeah, it will do because this is all blank here. So let's hit fire. There we go. Right, and now pause. So again, same routine, decrease 01 CLI, but this time it's jumping to CO53. So I'm going to write that down because that's going to be our start address, I'm imagining. And now I'm going to save out the memory. So best thing to try when you first save out memory is save from 0800, which is the beginning of basic, all the way up to the end of RAM. Oh, and also make sure that your 01 value up here has banked everything out, so you can check. Let me bring up this one. So you can see here, 38 means that it's 0, 0, 0 all the way along. 1, 2, 4, yeah, 0, 0, no, sorry, yeah, it does 0, 0, 0. So it actually means character ROM is visible at this location, not RAM. So it means nothing's being written in this location. So I'm actually going to change this to 39 so that RAM is visible in all locations. So you can see this if we go to, so here is what is at this location now. Actually, it probably won't show it in this because it's character ROM. Oh no, there you go, it has changed. Oh, that's showing character ROM, so actually 38 is correct. Okay, so you just need to make sure that you're seeing RAM in all these locations, which we should be doing now. I mean, we definitely are, because this is normally kernel and it's blank, so that's fine. C64 emulator and C64 debugger. So we're using Vice, and as Colt says, yep, we're using Vice. This is C64 debugger, and we'll be using Sublime Text and Kick Assembler to do some more, plus some custom tools that I've written. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to save out that block of memory. I've already got a folder set up here, and we'll call this tapper .bin. Actually, I'm going to make it lowercase. I don't like uppercases in there. Play Rainbow Islands again with my son. It's freaking good, but my stance on controls remain. When you press jump, you cannot control the player in the air. I've been able to jump after a ledge. Are my main problems with platformers. Not being able to jump after a ledge. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Okay, I'm going to run this now. And hopefully we should get to this jump address, and then at this point it should jump straight into the game. Yes, there we go. So that is the jump address there. Okay, so now we've got a bin file. So what we can do, we can quickly test that. If we open it up in a hex editor, so this is XVI 32, which is a Windows hex editor. Unfortunately, I can't make it much bigger. But what I can do is very quickly just put the start address. So we save from 0800 onwards. So I'm going to put that address into the beginning here. Little endian format. So the little part first and then the big part first. So it's 0008 and then save that. Now if I just rename that. Oh, god damn it. Deleted instead of renamed. If I rename that PRG. And then open up Vice. You have to nail the ledge pixel per it's very sometimes, but the select jump direction before pressing jump is pretty bad. Oh, I see. Yeah, I mean that's kind of standard for games of that time, and even games now, to be honest. Okay, so we're getting a syntax error, but that's because we don't have any basic upstart program in there. So I'm just going to open up the monitor. And I'm going to type our start address in with a G. So go to C053. We get a jam. Okay, I'm not sure why we get a jam there. Maybe because it's trying to run. Okay, that's fine. So what we can do, if we've got that PRG file, is we can use my disassembler. So let's do it. Episode 16, there we go. So what this disassembler does is it lets you take a PRG file and convert it into a kick assembler source. It's work in progress, so there is a lot to do still, but I can show you how it works. So you type disk64. Oh, there is no help file yet. I need to add that. Okay. Type disk64, you tell it it's a PRG, so --PRG, and you give it an input file. So in our case, tapper.prg, and then press enter, and it will go through and it will try and try and disassemble the code. It will try and do as much as it can to make the code as readable as possible and to try and add labels for stuff it knows. Steps. Shannon, when you change hex edit first few bytes, do you not need to change the length of file or something? No, because XVI edit has an insert mode, so you can type something in and it will insert bytes rather than overwrite bytes. And there we go, that's run. So that should create an output folder, and then in here we should have the files we need. So if I drop that into here, there we go. Apparently it's only got one screen buffer at 0400, which is kind of interesting. It's created a lot of data. There's not a lot of code in here actually. Oh, there's the code. Oh no, they're fills. We have some code here. Some more code down here, so it does quite well. There is something here at this point, so I want to have a look at that in the debugger just to see what is actually going on at that location. Because it looks blank here. I think we see I got completely blown away. It's smaller for the gameplay area. Oh, shrinking the game to one file PRG for Rainbow Islands would be very difficult because it's a huge game. That's not going to work for one PRG. I mean, you could maybe make it into a CRT file, so it loaded for in cartridge format. Also, second player I think would probably be difficult as well, because I think the reason it's in fact I think it takes turns anyway on the arcade version, but I think the problem is the game is so tightly timed for one player and all those software sprites. If you added a second one, it would be very difficult. Okay, I want to just restart this. For some reason the debugger's crashed on me as well, typical. But yeah, I'd like to do a dissect of it sometime. It is a multi-load game, so I'd have to feel a bit more confident about let me unmount everything here. About messing with multi-load games, because I'm not that familiar with how they work properly, so at least not other people's. I know how mine work, but so I just want to make sure that this is working, because it doesn't look like it's working properly. No, it jams there. It's like there's another. I think I've taken a snapshot at the wrong time. So let me delete those and start again. I took the snapshot while it was still unpacking, which is no good. Yeah, that's what I'm going to show you how we do that in a minute, Acmifin. I've got it working absolutely perfectly with Uridium. It should work the same with this, hopefully. Don't know why it's not loading that now. Do it manually, which means I've got to figure out where the star. Oh my god, that's not even the. Nope. Speed this up. No need to do those small patches anymore. Yeah, I mean, you would still do it with patches anyway. I've done this more so you can use all the tools to search through the code. So one of the things that quite often I have problems with when searching through code is being able to search kind of complex patterns. Not with bytes, but with actual code. So I might want to search for a load accumulator with anything, followed by a store in the border color, and I can't search for that in that way through the debugger. But obviously with a with an IDE, you could do that with regular expressions. And so that's what I want to look at, doing something like that. Also, I mean, I am doing some disassembly work for somebody, so it helps me to have something that outputs code that I like to work with, because most of the disassemblers output kind of Acme code or task code, so, and I don't like that. So, and I'm trying to be smart about it as well. So I've got pattern matching, or I will have pattern matching in there. So if there is, for instance, a table that is counts up in 3s, it will recognize that and create the correct fill command rather than a massive block of bytes. And a few other things as well. Like I should be able to add more patterns, so sine waves and more complex things. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I hate the capitals, but I will have the option in this to output in when I'm done with it anyway, to output in different formats and different capitalizations as well. But it also does some C64 specific stuff. So one of the things it does is it tries to infer where the, okay, right, we're at this point, so I'm going to go back to the unpacker when it starts. It tries to infer where the VIC banks are, what VIC banks the game is using, and then uses that to work out what screen locations there are. So things like screen buffer and color buffer RAM writes, they will, well, I'll show you when it's done, when I decompile this one. It should work, I think. So let me put a breakpoint in there. So we need to get to this breakpoint and then save. Another breakpoint, why is that not continuing? Oh, don't tell me it's crashed here as well. It's crashed here. I don't believe it. Right, one more try. I'm not having good luck with this. This will work. I know this will work. Yeah, uncrash it. Yeah, so things like screen writes will actually say things like screen buffer plus a value, because it knows that you're writing to somewhere within the screen instead of just giving you some kind of random memory location that isn't that obvious. So I'm trying to make the code as readable as possible, and as smart as possible as well. So it does try and work out what is actually code and what's data. And because it reads the VIC banks as well, it should be able to work out where the sprites are and where the character data is as well. Right, pause there. That's the one. I'm hoping eventually it will spit out source files and asset files as well. Right, we're at the jump location. So at this point, we should have nothing in 0800, which is what was looking weird before. Yeah, just some minor pieces here, 49235. So there's a basic command here, and then nothing else. All right, okay. So I'm going to save that out. So save it 0800, like that. I'm going to call it Tapper. It will be a bin file. And minimize. Right. Make it output the sprite pictures as comments. Yeah, it could potentially do that. Yeah. I did wonder about having the option to either output sprites as bin files or to have the data displayed as binary in the code. So let's get rid of this Tapper ASM because that's wrong. Don't save it. Okay, so the other thing that this can do as well is it can also take in something that's not a PRG file. So if you just take the PRG file off and instead pass in base and then the base location of where we saved it from. It can also do basic upstart as well. So we know that the basic starts at C053. So let's do that. Yeah, Yeah, it wouldn't be in comments, it would be in binary representations as well. The other thing I want it to do as well is find a common code and make macros. So you'd have a separate macros file full of stuff that's used. If something's done like 10 times, then it would be a macro somewhere. So it would be easy for you to kind of make the change. Okay, so let's drop this into here now and take a look. There we go. Okay, so we have something which is much more. Is it much more? Yeah, it is. I think there's a definite format to it. Oh, cheers, Wicked. Thank you for the raid, dude. You've come at the right time, because the first half an hour of this was me just messing around with my version of with my Windows, because it seems to be, for some reason it says it's an evaluation copy now. I don't know what I've done. Definitely not. I paid for it. How did your challenges go? I think I saw you hit 100,000 on Wizard of War, and then I kind of left to go and set some things up. All right, well, this is the file it's generated, so let's just try it out. Let's just press F7. Okay, we do have, seems to be failing to find the labels for some reason. Have I broken something? Timer E, CIA timer B control, AI2 timer B control. Oh, for some reason it's deleted that. There must be a bug in my code. I'm going to open up that and have a look. Okay, but that should be fine. Only 5K on Luna. 57 waves. Wow. There we go. And so we've got a source file that will compile and run that. I just want to fix the little issue I have. This isn't, is it? This is something else. Just while I've got it in my mind, should only take me a second to do. I just moved some stuff around before the stream, so I think I might have deleted. Yeah, there we go. Delete the L off the end there. There we go. That shouldn't happen again now. But yeah, there you go. It will 63 waves my record. Wow. Okay. That's impressive. Can you make the sprite be some other color than green? Which flag needed? Which sprite? What are you on about? Cool. So that's actually working. That's working quite well. So I will share this at some point. It's not quite ready to be shared yet. I want to add a few more options in there, but I will add it at some point. I'll add it to my libraries, and then you guys can use it. So let's have a look. Let's see what we can actually do with this now. Okay, let's start by taking a snapshot of the game. Let me compile again. And let's take a snapshot, because we can run it through Chartpad and we can take a look at the graphics. So we're gonna attempt to change some of the graphics in here. So let me save a snapshot image. Where's my dissect? Let's dissect. Where is it? Desktop. So I'm in the right place. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Blade Brown. I think I saw before it disappeared off the screen. Welcome to the stream. Cool. All right. So the cool thing is straight away we can see that there is a screen buffer. It's using 0400. We can verify that if we go in here as well. It's just worth just double checking things. It is indeed at 0400. I don't know if it ever uses any other screens, but that's what it's using currently. So we can look for writes to the screen quite easily now. And you can see here it's looking various locations in the screen buffer. It makes it much easier to search kind of these values than it was before. Just doing it through the debugger. So let's have a look where the char set is at. So we can do that in here. That's quite simple. Oh, there is another screen. There's a screen at 4400. Now that's not showing up in the code. That's interesting. So I need to do a little bit of work on that, but we have another screen buffer at 4400, a char set of 4800. Okay, so screen 4400, char set 4800. Let's go and have a look at them. Let's load up the char pad, import our snapshot, and see what we can see and see what we can change. Emulate snapshot, import by snapshot. Yes. There we go. Right, so there was a character set of 1000, although I think that is just the default character set. So let's go and have a look at the one at 4800. Okay, this looks a bit more like it. Not too fussed about tiles. I don't think it's... I assume it's not using a tile set. But this is our character set anyway. So let's see if we can match the colours a little bit as well. Yeah, he does. He wakes up whenever he hears. Yeah, he wakes up when he hears Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble, or Parasol Stars. One of those will wake him up. Okay, colours. So let's set the background to this blue colour, and then let's see what everything else looks like. So it's this colour. Multicolour wise, what have we got going on in here? So we have a multicolor of... Oh, actually, the background is actually... Oh, it changes all sorts of colors. Okay. So in this case, we've got orange and white. Still the same char set though. So we've got like this color and white. The background was this color at one point. So it's kind of hard to tell actually what's going on in here. I can't see anything that looks like anything. I guess we need to figure out exactly what characters are what in here. Because at the moment that's really hard to tell. Hi Mads, welcome to the stream. Yeah, there would have been like 3 as well. Unfortunately, the computer has been a bit of a pain tonight. Okay, let's go back here. So I can't remember what wanted to happen now. I need to have a look for... Was there a Discord notification? No, there wasn't a Discord notification actually. I forgot to do that. That's a very good point. Slap my wrist. I'll remember to do that next time. I do apologize. Okay, this was one. There was a Mountain Dew in the background, wasn't there? That's they wanted to change. Let me see if I can find the message from Hayes today. He had a list of things he wanted to see happen. As a tapper, I want to be able to see the JD Wetherspoons logo. So I don't know where that was. Is that that's at this point, isn't it? I don't know, where would the JD Wetherspoons logo go though? That's the thing. There doesn't seem to be many places to put it. Change Mountain Dew to something beer. Okay, let's see if we can find where it says Mountain Dew in the char set. Because it doesn't look like it's this character set. It looks like it's a different character set. Let's get it back in there and have a look. we need to wait for a certain area to happen. But yeah, there does seem to be something. It's one when it's here we go. Okay, so let me pause at this point. Okay, so oh, interesting that this seems to be, so this is high res text, and then it goes into extended character mode at this point. Which is very interesting. Extended character mode I don't even think is supported in Charpad. So I'm not even sure how we're going to do that. Shall shake does this game use multiplexer? I guess it does. I mean, not on this screen, but I guess on the customer screen, I would imagine it very much does. Yeah. It's interesting that this is using extended character set here. I guess to get this white background and still retain a high resolution area. As you can see, when I scroll off into the other area, the colors change, so you get the background color coming through, and then the reverse characters. So these are in the upper half of the character set, so they would be around here somewhere, here, but we're not seeing them at all. I'm going to try loading in that snapshot again. So that looks like just a bitmap of some kind. That's supposed to be the character set, unless it's swapping. I think it might be swapping character sets in and out all the time. So we might have to be clever about which one we look at. Well, we can work that out if we go into the Vic screen. Oh god, I'm not ever going to remember. Okay, here we go. And we hover around this location here. You can see actually, yes, we do have a different character set. We can see Mountain Dew written here in the first half of the character set. Which is interesting. I thought it would have been in this half, but let's resume the game and see what happens. I'm just trying to work out where this is being copied to, because it looks like this is copied around in memory. Because this is still, our character set is still at 4,800. So let's wait for it to skip past this part. Right, okay. So we're still at 4,800. You see here, screen, HR set still at 4,800. But if I go here, now the character set has changed, so it is being copied from somewhere. So let's have a look, see if we can see where it's being copied from. So actually we can use the code that we've decompiled as well, disassembled. So the character set is around about 4,800. That's where it begins. Let's find it in here. Oh god, it's not very responsive. Something weird's going on with my computer today. There we go. So this is the start of the character set. So I'm going to search for this label to see if it's where it's being used. And yes, there does seem to be something here that's copying something into memory. So let's go back into Charpad and have a skip through these character sets, see if we can find one that has our Mountain Dew in. Not seeing anything as yet. If anybody spots the Mountain Dew text, let me know. It's probably not the whole character set, it's probably just a little bit of it somewhere. Yeah, let's load in 1 minute. Okay, let's just make this a little bit bigger so it's a bit easier to see. Let's make the background blue and the foreground like a white colour. In fact, is that it down there? No? I feel like that's it on the bottom row. I feel like it's this down here. Okay, so what we can do, if we go into the breakpoints, we can set, let's get rid of these ones here. We can set a breakpoint up on the memory location to see when it gets written to. And then once, oops, y equal to 0, there we go. And then whenever that gets written to, we should see it get changed. So let's accelerate the game a little bit. Did that break? It has broke. Okay, so let's go and have a look where that is. So it's loading from 8081. So this is that same piece of code that we could see in the in the debugger in the disassembly. So it's this piece of code here. But I don't think this is actually the right point. So looking through this doesn't look like it's the Mountain Dew text at all. It looks like something else completely different. We would see it in this block here. So let's start. No, it's not. It's gone back into this bit. Okay, so let's get through this bit. So we're looking for that same kind of piece of code or similar piece of code to be run, but with different text and a different location, source location. So actually, I'm going to have a look in the disassembly again. I'm going to see if there's another. Yep, here's one. So this is 8EFB. So let's have a look at that in memory. 8EFB. Not sure what that is. Could be the Mountain Dew stuff, I think. Kind of difficult to say. Let's have a look for another one. Oh, there's only those two. But I think it is that one at 8EFB. So what I'm going to try copying that now. I'm just going to try saving that out. So save 8EFB to, we need 64 characters, so that's 512. So let's do it to 91FB. And I'm just going to call that chars. I'm going to open that up in here. Port character set. Yeah, there we go. I found it. Cool. So we need 32 characters is all we need there. Cool. So we can save this out now. So let's just do a little test. Let's just put any old crap in. Let's just stick a mess in here. Let's do that. I'm going to save this project out. I'm going to call it Mountain Dew, and then I'm going to export that character set as well. I call it mdew.bin. So we know where that begins. We know it's only 32 bytes long. 32 characters long, sorry. So that's a total of 256 bytes. So we need to go and find, well, in fact, we don't even need to do that. We can just go into our file here. And we already have a patch section created. So when the disassembler runs, it will create, and you use basic upstart, it will create a patch file like this, and it will stick your basic upstart in. You can then put any patch code you want straight after it. So we can go 8EFB and then import binary mg.bin. And now when we run that, oh, why has that not worked? Why does that work? That should work, shouldn't it? Am I being stupid? Can't open file. Okay, so that was correct. I just got the file name wrong. And the file is called mdu.bin. Or maybe I need the... What? I can see it there. I can see the exact file I need. Oh, because it should be in here. It should be in the output folder. There we go. I'm forgetting that I'm working with the assembly now. So this should hopefully change our file. Is there a way to get straight to that game? If I do an expert maybe? Or does it always take you to the bar first? Oh, what happened there? Oh, I don't think it is quite right. Something not working there. Or I've broken it by trying to import this file. Oh, what's going on? Okay, so the decompile hasn't quite worked. That's fine though. What we can do, if the decompile doesn't work, for now I'm just gonna how can I get to the very beginning? There we go. Just gonna delete all of this and import binary. What was it again? Tapper.bin. Like I say, I still do need to work on stuff in that, so it's obviously not quite ready. It was a long shot. I mean, I had it working with Iridium, but the thought that I could just make it work with a random game was... Oh, no, it's doing the same. What? Okay, so it's not the decompiler, it's my actual export from here. Let's go back in here again. Start the game. And just make sure if I jump to CO53, what happens? Nothing. Crashes. There's the problem. That's the issue I've got here. I've saved something incorrectly, so let's try again. We've got the... I'm going to save that to memory, save it to the clipboard. Maybe it decompresses on game selection. Yeah, maybe. But then I could see it in memory. I'm not sure. Let's have a look again. Or at least I know where I'm going now with this. I could have saved the wrong too much memory out. I might try saving a little bit less, because I saved the final 6 or 8 bytes, or whatever it is. Sometimes they can cause problems. So okay, so it's this one here. There's the jump. So I want it to pause when it gets to this line, which it has. And now I'm going to save out, but I'm not going to save all the way to the end this time. Oh, actually 37. Have I... Maybe it was the ROM and RAM thing. Oops. Oh my god, why can't I do anything properly on this thing? Yeah, because this looks kind of wrong. I'm going to put 30. I think that's it. I think it was just the ROM location. So the default is 37. I'm going to put 100. So I'm going to put 34 in there instead. You see, now I can see much different things. I'm just going to go and check the last pieces of memory, which seem to be blank all the way down here, up to there. So I'm going to save up to ff100 like that, and I'm going to save that as tapper.bin, and then I'm going to run our code again. I think the banking was wrong. I think I had the wrong area of memory banked in. Okay, cool. Let's go back into here. So now we've got all this again. I'll put our patch back in. All right, give it another try. Yeah, there we go. So I don't know how you get to the, how do you get to the shuffle area? Oh. Yeah, there we go, and we've got to change things. So pressing Alt seems to switch games or something. Okay, cool. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute smoke break. Then when I come back, we'll try and design a little logo, or unless somebody else wants to have a go at drawing something. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 4, 8 characters by 4, so that's 64 by 32 pixels. We can drop that in. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. So let's have a go at changing it a little bit. Alright, change them out in Juno. It's Miller time. It's Humor time. That was... Let's see if we can find an image of... Need a fairly simple image to do. Miller time looks complicated. Yeah, it was a Haze request, wasn't it? So let's put something in for Haze instead. So let's just delete all this. I wonder if I can edit this directly. I would have to. Can I edit it in here directly? I thought I could. I have to create a tile out of it. So let's create one tile that's 8 by 4. Yep. Right, there we go. Don't know why it's giving me all those characters. Oh, tiles. I only want one tile. There we go. Reduce that down to 64. No, 32. There we go. Yeah, and we can see that. Cool. Right. Colt 45. That's it. That's a really good point. All right, let's pick the transparent color and just clear. I'm sure there's a way to clear all of this, but do it like this for now. It's fine. Actually, I think what we can do, I believe Charpad has a way of importing a bitmap image. Yes. Import map as a bitmap. So we need to create a bitmap that's 64 by 32. So let's have a look. Let's see if we can find one. So name some logos, and we'll try and find one and turn it into a 32 by sorry, a 64 by 32 bitmap. Well, what's the weather? Because someone said Wetherspoons, but the Wetherspoons doesn't really have a logo, does it? As such? Oh yeah, it does. Oh my god, that's complicated though. Any suggestions, guys? We could put the Wetherspoons logo in, which is this. So the way we'd do this is we'd save that out. If I just stick that on my desktop. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't look great. I'm going to do it as an experiment first. And then once we've got the system working, we can refine it a little bit. So we can pick a different logo. So I have got GIMP, so I can just use that. Nice and simple. Put Kim Kardashian on. Oh, is she on the thing? Where? Mail Online. God, I don't like the fact that I've even gone to the Mail Online site. Oh, on the video. Yeah, if you guys can find me a kind of two-tone image that's relatively small, we can have a mess around with it. I'm just gonna try out first just to see if I can do it. So I'm gonna open that file, which was this one. Okay, so first we need to scale the image down so its height is no more than 32, which is going to make it super small. And then we need to change the color. Well, we need to change the canvas size. So that will now be 64 wide and centered. And then we need to fill in the background layer to image size. What's this one? Lone Pine. Quite a lot of detail in that though. Girls just want to have fun. I remember that. That was hilarious. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. He just randomly randomly ended up on some really bad C64 porn. It was terrible. There is it this one? I can never remember which one it is. Saturation, there we go. I think that needs to be black, doesn't it? There is a... Is it brightness, contrast? I can never remember which one to do in this. No, brightness is fine. Use that as contrast, there we go. And now I'm going to export it as Wetherspoons. Bitmap. Export. Now hopefully oh no, it expects a PNG file. Well, why say import bitmap if it needs a PNG file? Okay. Export as Well, the problem is it's not. It's kind of done something weird here. It's not put. We need to copy these into the right places. I thought it was. It's. Hang on. Maybe there's a way of preventing it from doing that. I want it to not kind of work out the. Oh no, it's. Yeah, the problem we've got here, though, is while it has created something that works, in terms of the characters, it's put them in the kind of wrong place. So there should be 2 blanks. I'm just going to change the background to a different colour so I can actually see what I'm selecting. Two, 3, 4, like so. And then export that character set to here. Okay, cool. That was a really convoluted way to do that. And also the colours are going to be wrong in this. But let's just see if it works first and we can worry about the colours later. So if I just start the game. Now, how did I get the... Cool, so we can replace it quite easily. Obviously the colours are wrong, but we can figure out the colours once we decide what logo to put in there. I mean, we could just write Wetherspoons across the bottom and be done with it. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Have a look at what else we can do. So the problem is here now it's not going to let me edit. And here I need to tile system 8x4. Okay. View tile set. View tile editor. No, that's not worked, has it? Okay. I wish it would just let me put the right tiles in the right places. I'm gonna have to do it manually, which is frustrating. Also, there's no room at the bottom to put that, so... okay, we might have to think about doing this in a different way. We can always change it in the bitmap, I guess, in here. So if we were to move this up, say... like that, right to the top. And then fill that in the bottom. Now, can I write Wetherspoons here? Ooh, it would need to be a lot smaller than that, actually. I can't even grab that layer for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't work well with that font at all. Let's just turn that layer off for now. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Let's add another layer in. And let's fill that in white. So we can actually see. Where's the fill tool? Where's it gone? There it is. So maybe we can... See, I don't like how that is looking at all. Because for that to work, we'd have to mess around with all sorts of things in here. Which one is it now? Brightness, contrast, there we go. Which means we need that to shrink down a little bit. Yeah, there's some anti-aliasing going on, isn't there? I think it needs a different font than this one, to be honest. Let's have a look. I'm not the best in the world at this. Isn't there like a system? Oh no, was it small font? No. There is like I'm sure there is somewhere. There's like a console font or like a pixel font. Unfortunately, I can't remember what any of the fonts are called. So I'm just going to do this until I see one that looks like it's... Ah, there we go. C64 Pro. There we go. Is what we want. The problem is the pixels are too bloody small, so... If I try and scale that now, I'm just going to get weird. Oh my god, I suck at remembering how this tool works. Where's the scale? Alignment, crop. Yeah, it destroys it when the anti-aliasing kicks in. Okay, maybe this isn't the right logo to do. It's the Wetherspoons logo, but I'm not sure how we could do it. I mean, we could probably draw it manually, I guess. Hardness 100. B4 should probably be 5 high to make. I think the problem is that the scale that we're doing it at, we're down to single pixels, so it's just causing loads of artifacts when we try and scale it. Because it's trying to filter the it's trying to filter the text when it's less than a pixel. No, that looks terrible. This would be much easier in Charpad, but unfortunately the way Charpad works means it destroys those tile layouts that we need. Actually, I'm going to do that a little bit wider, and then I can do... Cool, right, now I should be able to drag that into a better position. There we go. Export it, open up here again. We're going to have to do some resorting again to get this to work. Okay, so it looks right in the map, but that's because we've got the spacing. It's deleted some of the characters, so we need to put those characters back to get it right. So we shuffle everything along, just set the transparent background to something different. We need to make those gaps between the characters the right size. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That feels wrong for some reason too. Oh, because this needs to be moved over 2. Right, so there we go. Let's try that. Start the game. And then what was it, that button, I think? Hey. So now we just need to change the colors in here as well. So if we go and have a look at the piece of code, so this is another good reason to have this in place. So we know this is where it's pulling the graphics from, so let's go and find that. Here's where it's loading in. So it's loading that detail, put it into the character set, then it's loading something into the screen buffer. So we need to look for color RAM. There should be some color RAM changes around that location. Oh no, actually what it's doing, because this is extended character mode, so let's get into the game. Oh, I don't know why that stopped working. So in extended character mode, the upper two characters define the background color. So we need to know what the background color is at that location. So let's go and have a look. If we can find where it's doing it. So this is where it's adding it to the screen buffer. Increases Y. Increases X. Compare X with 8. It's not equal, jumps to here. What does X start at? Okay. Trying to work out where the color is added in. This is storing it to the character set, but this is what's actually putting it on the screen. Well, we can put it into the debugger and take a look. And now we've got our version, we can just load our version in. Okay. And our code is at E367, so let's go and have a look at E367. Get rid of those breakpoints. 8367, sorry. And this is where it's drawing to the screen, I believe, so I'm going to put that breakpoint in there. I'm going to switch to the Vic view. We should hopefully see it get drawn when the game starts to that location, so... joystick off. Oh, I can't swap the game. Ah, there we go. So this is what's storing it at this location. So let's skip past 1. Not seeing anything drawn. Yeah, not seeing anything drawn on the screen. So 4460 would be around about here, so this should actually be drawing it to the screen now, but we're not seeing it. So maybe it's not that that's drawing it. So we pause and have a look at these locations. So this is, well, let's have a look at 4460. Let's go and have a look at the memory at that location. Okay, so it is, you can see it is putting the characters in. So this is the rows here, you can see. And I believe the colour is not actually being pulled from there. So let's go and have a look. No, it is extended character set mode, so the colour should be the upper 2 bytes of that character. But what we're seeing is green and red. So maybe it is background color at that point. Maybe it is in color RAM. Let's go and have a look at D860. Yeah, it's color RAM here. So we need to look for color RAM rights. Nice looking stars color cycle effect. Okay, well yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm just gonna find the color RAM. So in the decompiler it does actually, whoops, it does actually create labels for color RAM here. So we need to look for color RAM plus 60 maybe, that might be available. It's not. Okay, so let's look for color RAM, X. No, could be this one though. BF8A. Let's check for some more color RAM rights, because there's going to be a few of these. Alright, there's a couple that are doing some stuff here. Actually, that's an interesting one. Oh no, that's storing the color RAM +1. Color RAM +0, X. So we could put some breakpoints in these and see what's going on. So one of these is going to be drawing to the location we want. I'm not sure which one it is going to be though. I'm going to take a wild guess on these. I'm going to go for, let's have a look, decrease. So this is doing rows from C5 F7. Don't think it's this one. I would expect somewhere around here there to be greens, and there's not. It's not that one. Okay, there aren't that many writes to the color RAM actually. There's only 10 or so. So here's another one. This is storing the color blue in color RAM all over the show, probably row by row. So don't think it's that one. Actually, unless that value is being changed somewhere, but I doubt it. Actually, that is very suspicious, that C5 F7. So let's go and have a look at where that's happening in code. C5 9C. So that's this block of code here. So let's see if we put a breakpoint there. Let's start the game again. Is there an easy way to end this game? I guess I have to play it a little bit, right? Okay. Okay, so it wasn't that block of code. Let's cancel that one out. I don't think it's those ones. I don't think it's that one. BF8A, let's go and have a look there. BF8A. Okay, yeah, so there's a color RAM store here, but it does seem to be storing the value 8 in there, not any other. Oh, well, that's to do with the intro screen, I think. No, it's to do with this screen. Okay, that's. Oh no, it's just this screen again. And this is the guy with the can, isn't it? I think. No, still that screen. There we go, right. I'm not sure if this is the right place either, to be honest. Because it doesn't seem to be doing anything on there. That's fine, we can put a breakpoint in again and find the correct location. So with 16 characters in on row 2, so the address is D860 that we're looking for. So D860, anytime that is written to, we'll have a look and see what's going on. Turn that breakpoint off there. Okay, let's. I need to pick a can now. Is that game over? Oh, it's broke again. Let's have a look where it's broke at. Ah, indirect lookups as well. Okay, so it's probably going to be an indirect lookup, which is a bit frustrating. But it's fine. We can at least then work out where that's coming from. Same line again. It's another indirect lookup. Same line again. So we just need to find the screen that is the actual. I'm going to jump to it in here as well. It's at D839, storing at that location. Damn addressing mode, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where is it getting that from? It's pulling it from the stack. So it's been pushed onto the stack here. Oh, wow, okay. So that seems to be a point of interest. Yeah, that's going through the, yeah, it's going through there. So 864C, let's kind of look at it. And this is why it's so good having the decompiled version. So it loads from 4E, Y. So let's have a look at 4E, which is here. It's 8B65, and that was stored at, what was that address? 68. Okay, so this is the address I'm interested in, 88E6 and onwards, which is this data here. No, it's one of these datas. We're looking for greens and reds. I'm not seeing anything obvious, but this, I believe this is going to be all the color data in here, and maybe screen data as well. So let's have a look. Where did we load? EFB. Any bytes with a green and red pattern? Yeah. So what we can actually look for here is we can use regular expressions here. So we could look for byte as it stands like that. And then any white space, or actually anything that ends with 5, comma, and then that, and then not to 9, A to F, 5. And that needs to be, let's say, so let's find some. And I would say that would be repeated 8 times. Interesting. I don't think that's the one though. So we're looking at a block of well, actually this would be, yeah, it would be 8 and then it would go on to the next row. I think it is this bit actually. And then somewhere near here there'll be some 2s on the end. We're not seeing them. Well, let's have a look at the logo again. How many characters are there that are red? So we've got 4, 5. Oh, hang on. 1, 2, 3. This is blank. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 reds. So if I do that as 4, well, that should be 3 because it starts here. And then do this as reds, and there would be 4 of those. No, it's not finding that. Why would you write non-zero to non-existent bits? Yeah, you might though, that's the thing. There might be other data stored in it as well. Well, let's try it. Let's just put 0 in there and see if we can find that. So there are some 0.5s. That's the only one, so I don't think it is that. I think it does use that. Could be spread to 2 rows, that's true. There's no guarantee that it is just going to be the comma, is it? So I would say... Let's keep looking. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be in one of these locations somewhere. Because this was pulling in from 8 something or other. Let's start the game again. Get rid of that. So the colours get put into this location. So when we go into that routine again, 0805, 05, yeah, could be. I doubt it though. It doesn't look like there's much in the way of complications in this game, to be honest. Ah, okay. I didn't look to see what that frickin' address was. It seems to be in the 88 range, so let's find one that's in the 88 range. There doesn't seem to be any more around this point. Here we go. So this does... No, this isn't it either, is it? Damn it, where are you hiding? Just find the original source code from a floppy in a garage sale. Yeah. I noticed a few things actually that are already wrong with this, so with the disassembler. So this sort of thing should be being compressed as bytes. This is not code, and the routine should be able to recognize that if you were to run this code, even if this was valid, and it's not. I mean, we can see the pattern. That there's no instruction at the end here which would stop it dropping down into these bytes. So it should recognize all of this as invalid, basically. And it's not doing. So there's some optimization to be done around that. I feel like it's in this location. I'm gonna try again going through this goddamn thing. I did actually consider using a machine learning algorithm to do this, not the hacking, but the disassembly stuff, because it would actually work quite well, I think. Okay, so the location here is 84B0, so let's make a note of that. 84B0, and let's see where that actually ends up. Okay, not that one. Put breakpoint again. What's the next level? 84B0 again. I think this is probably going to be another. Yep. And now we've got 8A99, which is different. So maybe this is the one. Okay, 8A99. Okay, let's go and have a look there. Okay, it's not referenced directly, but that doesn't mean that it's not. It could be in a block of other bytes somewhere that is just not recognized. Because of the indirect lookup, it probably wouldn't. So 8A99, let's see what that byte sequence starts as in here. It doesn't look like it's colours at all, to be honest. I mean, how many rows of that did we get before? Oh, the whole thing's gone. 2 rows, and then it goes into that thing. So this would be. This is. I like this. This is interesting. So. Okay, so this is the start. One screen row would be to here. So this is the start of the second screen row. This is the third screen row. And then I would have thought you would have started seeing colours in this location, but I don't see anything that looks like colours. Unless... Hang on. Where was that breakpoint again? I bet you there's some stupid piece of code going on in here. So it pulls the value from the accumulator. Wait a minute. No, it stores that in the border color, then increments the Y. So that's not it. There's another place where it's pulling it in. Because there's a pull here. No, sorry, a push. The accumulator, and transfers something to the X-register, and then shifts. Yeah, not an easy game to change the colours in. Now there is something we can do here anyway. I mean, we could change the routine that actually draws that. So we had this chunk of code here. Let's go down that method actually. So we had this location here, so we're going to find that in memory. That's this, okay? So this is what's actually drawing our logo into the character set. So what we can probably do here is find where this exits. So this code loops around this bit, then it loops around this bit, and it keeps going until it gets to here, and then it jumps to 9,000. So what we can do is we can change this line here. Now I'm not gonna change it there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and plop this code at the beginning up here. So this is the address that we need to put it at. And this is the code that's actually running at that point. Oops. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to create some new code. So we're going to find a blank spot somewhere in memory. There was quite a lot in the upper areas somewhere. And we do have it all banked out as well. So let's go and have a look. Yep, there's lots of space up here. Let's see if there's any lower down, though. I'm not that keen on putting stuff high up like that. Yeah, there's some blank space down here. So let's go and put it at 0900. That seems like a good spot. So we'll put this code at 0900. And then what we'll do is we'll change this to a jump 0900. And then this will have a jump 9000 at the end. So it's now going to jump to where we want it to go. So let's just draw our own colours now. So we know that the colours are at the middle 8 characters for 4 rows starting at D860. So what we can do is we can load the accumulator with 0 for black. X and load X with 0. Actually, we'll go backwards. Let's be sensible. Let's make the loop efficient. I don't know why I did double tap there, but sometimes Sublime can drive me insane. And we just need to do this for 4 rows. So, and then decrease X, bunch it plus. There we go. And then we just need to add the rows in here. So this would be 28, 50, and 78. Now hopefully this happens before the actual color change. I think it probably will, because looking at this, I don't know if it's going to work if I do this, but no, it didn't. It broke. Fair enough. It looks like this is the last thing that happens. This jump 9000. So let's give it a try. Whoops. Make file. Cool. Right. Joystick should be working, so I should just be able to start. And then if I press that, boom. There we go. Right, I'm going to go for a quick smoke, and then when I come back we can take a look at something else, or we can change some graphics in there, somewhere in there. I think Stepz wanted to have a look at the star effect on the main screen, so we can have a look at the routine that does that, see if we can find it in the disassembly, and have a look at it in some detail. If there's any other areas that you'd like to see us kind of play around with, then graphically, then let me know, and we'll do that as well. So I'll be right back in about 2 minutes, guys. Be right back. Oh, it's mighty cold out there. All right, let's take a look at the effect on the intro. So let's go and see where the code is running when we're at that point, which we'll have to drag our version in just to make it work. I think I need to update my debugger. It's not very stable, to be honest. Open again, please. There we go. Don't know why it won't auto run that PRD, but there we go. So this is running. It seems to only be running in this location, but I doubt it. So let's skip through. Oh, it's doing this, and then at some point it's jumping to this location. So it's. So it all seems to be around the 3800 area. Oh, this bit isn't. I don't know what this is doing. Oh, this is getting keyboard input. And it looks like it's actually using the kernel to do that at that point. Let me just check the values. I think this is kernel code now. Yeah, it's using kernel keyboard routines, which is interesting. so let's go and have a look around about 3000, 3A, wherever it was. Looks like this chunk of code here. And this chunk of code here. There doesn't seem to be any screen controls, nothing color RAM related. So the color RAM must be being written in one of these flags. So let's go and have a look. So it does all this, then it gets to this point. This is reading, this is checking for fire or space. And then it's doing a loop until it with D019. What's D019? A06, I just couldn't find it in here. Oh, the IRQ flag. So it's waiting for an IRQ to be fired. When it's fired, it comes back to here. Where does the RTS take it? I'm going to find out what is going on here. 386B. So let's go and have a look there. Oh, that looks like it might. Oh no, it's not. I was hoping to find a list of the colours that it was using. Which could be these. What's the screen location at this point? Let's have a look. Oops, wrong one. Screen location is 0400. Ah, Hitch. A raid from Hitch. Hi Hitch, and hi everyone that's come along with Hitch. Hi Mr. Cola. Thank you for the raid. Very much appreciated. We're turning Tapper into a Wetherspoons. Failed to assemble a PC and gave up. Oh well, I mean the beginning of my stream wasn't great as well. I spent half an hour, 45 minutes messing around with my PC as well. So, oh, good, cool. I'm glad you like it, Mr. Cola. It was aimed at being one of those kind of easy to play, really difficult to master sort of games. Muing Lima. Hi Muing Lima, welcome to the stream. Yeah, so we're trying to play around with this game. We've changed the logo in here to a Wetherspoons logo. We all hate the bats though. Yeah, the bats are a pain. Ooh. Oh, you're gonna have Chiz fighting you for a high score in that then. I'm yet to see anybody get to 10k, so yeah, it does get really fast. But that was the aim. The aim was it was supposed to be a very difficult game to master. So I'm just trying to find out where at this point it's going to write to the memory for that. So let's turn that breakpoint off now. Let's go and have a look at memory for actually, let's just turn that off a sec. So it is changing right in the corner, so let's just go and have a look where that's being written to. Let's start the game again. Okay, it's broken at this point, so FB. So it is doing some zero page lookup stuff. Yeah, there we go. So this is being written at 3AB1. So let's go and have a look at that in our disassemble code. It's this bit here. So where is that being written to? That's the question. So let's see if we can find where that's being written to. Turn regex off. Here we go. Here's... Yeah, so this is what is doing our count through the loop. And it looks like... I'm just trying to work out where it's getting the actual colours from, because maybe we can play around with the colours. So Wave 100 challenge, yeah. 10k is going to be really hard. 10k is going to be difficult, because I think to get to 10k you're going to have to be round about wave 70 or 80 or so. And that's assuming that you shoot everything as well. I mean, the best way to do it would be to kill everything in every wave, because you get bonus points. So alright, let's... This is what's actually... This is what's drawing our colours to the screen. Now, are the colours in order? So we've got white, black, white, red. They are in order, so it is just going through the colours in order here. So maybe we can change that to be a nice pattern instead. So let's get back to... Okay, this is where it's loading a colour from... Oh, it's shifting colours along. So it looks like the colours are already set and they're being copied from one location to the next across the screen. So it's actually quite a simple routine, but it must have been fairly complicated to write at first. It's trying to work out exactly where it's kind of defining the original colours, because we can work that out, we can change them. So yeah, some you can't. I think there is an element of luck to it as well. You have to get kind of lucky with the waves. As everyone's pointing out, the back waves are a nightmare. Actually, all the waves are supposed to be capable of doing all the patterns, but for some reason I think there's a bug in it where certain waves follow certain patterns, and it shouldn't be like that. They should be it should be randomized, but it's fine because it kind of makes people hate the bats. So okay. I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to change these colours, unfortunately, because it just seems to be incrementing the colours as it goes along, which is... where is it? I've lost it now. This bit here. It skips over the grey colour. So it does all the colours except grey, which I'm guessing is the background colour, so it doesn't disguise the background colour. So in fact, if we were to just change this to that and do that, it will only be in black and white then. No, it's still doing all the colours. Interesting. So it's not... Oh no, let's do it. Sorry, it would be that one. There we go. This would do black and white. This is doing everything but, so... Okay, cool. So this is what's incrementing the colour, and then it's been used here. We could change that actually if we got rid of If it's just undo that. Oops. So this is where it's storing the colour. So what we can do instead, as long as we make this the same number of bytes, we can play around with it a little bit. So let's go back to our blocks of code here. So these are our patching pieces of code. If we put this in here, so this just needs to use the same number of bytes as it was before, and it needs to return a value in the accumulator. And this is skipping over everything. So what I'm going, so this is 2 and this is 2 bytes. So what I'm going to get it to do instead, I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to jump to a subroutine, and I'm going to call it color fetch. And I'm going to put this in this new location that we've got here. And then I'm going to create color ramp. And then I'm going to go and grab from cold fade PDF. Let's pick a nice color ramp from in here somewhere. Let's just pick a... I want it to stand out as something different to what's there already. So, well, we've got a grey background, so let's have a look at it compared to a grey background. Which one was this one, wasn't it? 0B. So let's do this pattern here. And we need 16 for this to work correctly, with the last one, with the 17th byte repeated by the looks of things. So that's 5. Then we'll make it go backwards. That's now, how many is that? That's 8. Yep. So and then we copy that line. We'll do it 3 times. Doesn't really matter. So at this point, we do have an accumulator value that we can use. I need to go and have a look just to make sure that I can use the X register or something. Probably shouldn't use the Y because it's being used. The X is used here. And it's used here. And then it's not used. Oh no, it's used there as well. Okay, I'm going to store the X and then restore it again. Okay, so let's find a blank. Well, actually, we don't even need to find a blank space. We can just create a thing here called color temp. Stick a byte in there. Okay, so we're going to store that in color temp. Then we're going to transfer the accumulator to the X register. Then we're going to load color ramp. Actually, we're going to AND that with 0f. Transfer it to there. Load the color ramp, X, and then load X with color temp. And RTS. There we go. It does the colours in blocks of 6. Yeah, we'll try and figure out why that's happening in a minute. What have I done wrong there? Let's get the colour ramp working, and then when the colour ramp works, we can change. Okay, we're only getting one colour now. We're just getting the green and then a light green. We're getting this and then this. Why are we getting that? Let's just get rid of... Yeah, I used to do it on my Commodore 64 and it was a nightmare. No copy paste or anything, it was just it was hardcore. It was a lot more difficult than it is now. And I had no internet. I didn't know how interrupts worked at all. I had to look at other people's code through the action replay before I started figuring it out. And my first assembly programs were written in BASIC. I wrote the just loops that would poke data statements into memory and then call an SYS at the end. It was very inefficient. And I would hand assemble things. So I would write code on paper, then I would look up the opcodes and what values they should be. Then I would write data statements for them. Yeah, it was terribly inefficient. Okay, I don't know why that's not loading. That should be loading a value now. So, well, what happens if I just put white in there? I should just get all white. I think the problem is, for some reason, this value isn't always. It just seems to be going between 1 and 2. Yeah, so we just got white now. The question is, why is that not recording? So let's go and have a look at the original code. Yeah, this should be fine. It should return to here and store it at this location. Fine. Where is it actually getting that value from? Oh, it's getting it from the last square. Ah, okay. So what we actually need to do is we need to go back a little bit instead. Oh, this is going to get tricky, I think. This is going to get tricky. So what we can try and do, we'll try and go around it. So what this is doing is it's drawing a shitload of colours, and then it's looking at the last colour that it drew, and then in the next square it's doing a different colour. So I think what we might be able to do is create a colour index here. And then if I load X with colour index, and first of all increment colour index, let's try that. No problem, cheers. Good to see you. Good to see you streaming. And good luck with the future of Luna as well. I look forward to seeing how well you do. Okay, that kind of works, and then it goes off. And I think the reason it's doing that is because we're not actually clamping this to these values. So let's strip that down to 16. Let's do this just using the X register. Increase X and then store X in color index. Oops. And compare X with 1, 0. Bunch of not equal here. Oh, my high score is terrible. I can't play that game at all, which is often my problem with these games that I make. I'm never any good at them. So okay, so we've got a nice color ramp working now under our rules. So the next job is to, as Stepz say, work out if we can shrink that down. Yeah, shrink that down. I'll tell you what I'll do, Stepz, actually. I'm going to do it right now while I think about it. I'm going to create a new channel. I'm going to call it Luna High Scores. So there's a new channel in my Discord called Luna High Scores. If you get a high score, take a screenshot, drop it in there, and let's see what we get. My reactions are too slow for some turn-based games. Oh yeah, as Head Horse says, put it on highscore.com. It'd be kind of cool to see my game on there. And to be honest, I think we did a really good job with it. A really good job. I'm looking forward to doing another one of those streams. I'm gonna do probably another one just after Christmas. I don't know what yet, but we'll have a think about it. Okay, so let's go and have a look, see if we can find out where the value, like how many it's doing at a time. I think this might be more complicated because I think what it's doing is it's got a few points on the screen and it's just advancing them round. So this might be a bit trickier to do, but let's see if we can find it anyway. So this seems to be where it's setting our lookups. Replace the witch sprite with Rudolph and the enemies with Grinches. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything which would point to the number of characters. We can try messing around with some of the values and see what we get. But I'm fairly sure this is going to be doing something sneaky with the way that it actually fills those in. I'm not seeing anything which would indicate that it's grabbing them from anything other than a few set points around the screen. I mean, there's these locations here, but it looks like these locations are used for kind of lookups. So we've got, they're in a weird order as well. So 0400, so this is our screen lookup, and then 07C0 is the bottom of the screen. So we've got like a bottom of the screen and top of the screen. Yeah, this is not as easy as I think it is. I think these values may change. See if this is actually referenced anywhere. No, it's just jump into that routine. If anybody can see anything that I'm missing, please let me know. I should maybe start doing these on Fluebits as well. Probably a lot simpler to do this on Fluebits because there's no binary files. Well, actually, there is one binary file with it. But there needn't be. I mean, we can disassemble and it will be put in. So Easter. I'd like to do. I think the next game I'd like to do something, some kind of puzzle game. Again, like quite a simple game, but with a nice kind of twist to it somewhere. I like games with a twist. I like there to be something a little bit different about them. So okay, I'm not seeing anything that screams oh, actually, hang on, what's this? Seven. Let me just try changing that value to 2. I don't think it's going to work, but thanks, Head Horse. Good night. RPG's not a bad idea as well. I mean, that would be a fun one to do, because RPGs are quite simple in their in the mechanics behind them. But the problem with an RPG is you'd need all the you'd need all the story and a lot of graphics for an RPG. Umboozle, God, yeah, I remember that. That was great. Umboozle, wasn't that the one where you kind of jumped from tile to tile, if I remember rightly? If I had a way of doing C64 Basic without actually having to use the Commodore, if I could do it in Windows or something, I'd like to do a text adventure as well. Because text adventures were one of the first things I learnt to code back in the day. Before I got into assembly language, I had a monthly magazine and it came with how to build a text adventure. And the concept's quite simple to do, but you can really make some kind of cool stuff with it. Wait a minute, what's going on? I didn't look to see what actually happened there. I don't think it made any difference, but OCBM PRG. Ah, okay. I don't know how to get back to the menu again. So CBM PRG Studio is one of the formats I'm trying to get my disassembler to output in, because I know some people like to use that. So it might be handy to have the disassembler output in that. I don't think there's going to be an easy way of getting this kind of to be a bit tightened. No, I've got 3 working spectrums. I've got a 128 plus 2. I've got a 128 plus, I think it is, or something, and a 48k. Actually, I've got 4. I've got 16k as well. I don't like the 16k. I've actually got the memory upgrade for it. I've just not done it yet. Yeah, the Samia 128. Hang on, let me just check if I've still got the. No, I don't think it is a 128. This is a. I think this is just a plus. I'm not sure. What's that? Is that the? I think it's just a ZX Plus. It's very dusty. I need to dust it off. And I got my plus 2A as well, but that's going nowhere. Yeah, so it's not a 128. It's a 48 plus. Yeah, so I got a 48 plus. I got the 48 rubber key and the 16k rubber key, and a 128 plus 2A. The good one before Amstrad bought them. I did have a plus 3, but I sold it because I was just tired of trying to load things from those crappy discs. I think I've still got the discs somewhere, actually. Yeah, from these crappy discs. If anyone remembers these horrible things they are. But I kept these just in case I get another one, so I can test it. Yeah, plus 3 diskettes. I think they were used in the Amstrads as well. Alright, I think we're kind of running out of things to do with this now. I did have a list that Hayes sent. Where was it? Oh, Acmefin's registered the first high score. 0. No screenshot though, so I don't believe him. Yeah, I had a Spectrum before I had a Commodore, But when my Spectrum broke, I say it broke, I blew it up. I blew it up trying to plug Scalextric cards into it. My mother couldn't get it repaired for some reason. I think they knew I'd blown it up, and she didn't want to tell me that they'd refused to replace it. So it took about 6 months, and I got a replacement Commodore 64 instead. And I'm so glad I did, because the first games I played on it, I couldn't believe how much better they looked. So. Yeah, let's get screenshots in that channel if you want a high score. Okay, I think I'm going to call it there actually, because it's getting on a little bit. I've got work in the morning. I will upload this code straight after the stream, the disassembled code, so you guys can have a mess around with it. I'm not gonna push the disassembler anywhere yet, because I've still got some stuff I want to do with it. So as I showed you, as I was looking through, I could see some areas of code which don't look great. Yeah, things like this, for instance. This is not code. This is data, but it's been registered as code. So, and I also want to add the sprite extraction and the character font extraction as well. So you'll have the binary files to load into Charpad. I mean, obviously with Tapper we had to go and have a look exactly where they were in memory. They weren't in the exact location we were hoping. So it wouldn't have worked fully for that, but yeah. But this disassembler is quite good now. It's getting there. It just needs a little bit more work, and then it'll be ready to share. I need to get the pattern matching in as well, because there's some things like I mean, I can't find an example at the moment, but there's certain things that would definitely benefit from having pattern matching in. It does find consecutive bytes, although it isn't finding any at the moment. If I go up to the beginning, maybe. Yeah, see, it finds consecutive bytes, so it knows to use fill when instead of just lots of bytes, so it does do some stuff. Similar, it's better looking code than me, Shell. I doubt it. I hope you use better label names than this. Specky128. Okay. Yeah, I think when I do my room reorganize, I'm going to dig out all the machines I've got, because I have probably got about 15 or so machines of various makes and models and stuff, and I should probably work out which ones work and get them set up somewhere so it looks all nice. I keep meaning to dig my BBC Micro out, because that's the first computer I ever programmed on was the BBC Micro at my school, and that's when I kind of fell in love with coding. And that's why I started pestering for a computer, and that's why I ended up with a Spectrum, because Spectrums and BBCs are so similar. They're really not, but my mother had no clue. Mind you, I didn't either, really, so. But yeah, BBC is what I learnt to program on, and it was a lot of fun. And I'd like to go back and do something on it, because it is 6502, so I would like to one day go back and make a game for it. But I have got one. I bought a broken one and repaired it. It's down there somewhere. I would like to have a play with that. Alright, cool. Thanks, guys. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to find someone to raid, actually. Let's have a look. Let's grab... Why is there never anybody on to raid at this time on a Thursday? It's terrible. If anybody's got any ideas who to raid... Oh yeah, I've got an Acon Electron as well, actually. I've got two, actually, I think. And the tape decks for them. Yeah, not seeing anybody on. Let's go. Oh, this Moonbeam Arcade is playing Overseer. Tex Murphy Overseer PC game from 1998. Let's go and raid them, I think. See if I can get this right. There we go. Alright. Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming along tonight. And I'll see you all on Saturday, where we'll continue with our game coding and actually get something something playable, I hope. Hopefully won't waste too much time as we did last week. So, yep. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.